Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season X. We are here for double digits, round 10 out of 22. It's the British Grand Prix. We have 18 drivers for this 18-minute qualifying session ahead of us around the Silverstone circuit, one of the best tracks in the world. An updated, obviously, model for this game. The second time we have been here after Season 9. Where we saw Iran win in spectacular fashion in the Aston Martin. One season later, there is a lot more competition than just a 1v1. After 10 races, it looks like we've estimated there are 5 cars in with a shout at fighting for this title, with a further 3 cars, dependent how they do, could either join or fall off the fight. So yeah, round 10, double digits. As we have 13 races still to go in this season. So, take us through the drivers. We have Dead Gun, Steven making his debut today, reserving in the Red Bull. Because both Red Bull drivers are not racing today. End of the race. Okay, so obviously you can tell it's a very sunny and clear qualifying. As for the race, I'm hearing 45 minutes into it, it could potentially rain. The Silverstone weather could be affecting, but again, 45 minutes. A typical race usually is around 45 minutes, so safety cars and whatnot, maybe potentially at the end we could get some drama with the weather. Frosty Life and Adam in the Haas, they served well in Austria last time out. Result-wise, maybe not the best, considering Frosty got taken out and Adam did get a penalty at the end. But they showed some good promise. Warren in the Aston Martin, hoping for some more points on the board, as this is pretty much the closest thing to a home Grand Prix for him. Right, Frosty back there. Yeah, the Irishman hoping to help out the team as they've dropped to 3rd in the Constructors now. Sam L trails in 5th, 15 points off the leader, but it's very close throughout them all. He's taken the most poles of anyone so far this season. And also what could be, I guess, classed as a home Grand Prix, or the closest thing to. He'll be hoping to go strong here. Dello, a strong result last time out in Austria and Canada. So he'll be hoping for some more points on the board, as he has helped Sauber move to 2nd in the Constructors. We've got Ridian, one of the 3 drivers, not quite in the top 5 fight, as that would probably be an unsafe release. But he's not a million miles off Sam, 14 points, and another strong result showing he could definitely maybe throw his hat in the ring of fighting for this championship. Josh Hewitt, though, speaking of the championship, for the first time this season, he leads the World Championship, heading into his home Grand Prix after a stunning drive and a brilliant win at the Austrian Grand Prix last time out. He rose to 98 points, 2 points ahead now is his lead. 8 points separate the top 4, all in the 90s. And yeah, Josh Hewitt is hoping to make it, for the first time this season, back-to-back victories for a driver, as he is one of 3 who have taken 2 wins so far. Himself, Sam, and Stelios. We've got Drifting, one of the other championship protagonists in the Aston Martin, who's led the championship for the most course, but now 3rd, not a million miles off, only a few points separate. And we have Christian, who was certainly running up there in the points. A very good start to the race last time out, but unfortunately dropped a bit further down, got some penalties, etc. Then we have the 2 RBs, Bluey and Nathan, who did manage to score a point in Nathan's name. Bluey just finishing 11th outside of the points towards the end. We got Yonder back in the McLaren, also one of the 3 unknowns if he's going to be in this fight or just have to back off a bit, as Josh Hewitt 80 thousandths off Christian. I believe he's on the mediums. Yes, he is. Business as usual. Warren's on the hards. 2nd week in a row now, I believe. We've seen something like that. So yeah, Adam in the Alpine. I believe he equalled the record. Oh, we got an incident there of people just getting out the way. I haven't seen any grid pens, luckily. And JJ Francis as well. Sam out just in front on the softs as well. So great lap from Christian, to be fair. As turn 3, it's all kicking off. People getting out the way, try not to hold one another up. Yeah, Adam, I believe, has equalled the record for most races without a point. So I believe if he doesn't score any points today, he will hold that record. But if it's crazy enough, he might get a point. We'll see. As Chubster, 3/10 clear. Great stuff from another one of the top 5. 1 pole to his name, of course, inheriting the China pole. from Josh Hewitt getting that grid pen. Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. We'll go down to Stelios then, who will probably start last like he did last time out. He's the final one of the three from 6th, 7th and 8th who could potentially challenge the top 5. And then the final one of the top 5, Eggy. 2nd, 3rd race. Still yet to get a pole. Still yet to get a win. 10 podiums or 11 podiums to his name so far this in his career. I don't know how to... Actually, this voice message is probably going to help. Stepan. Stepan. Okay, got it. Okay, so Stepan is still 8th, coming around Stowe at the moment. He's got a car right in front of him and behind him, and he's trying to go into the pit lane. So he dives in, and there's an incident with the Ferrari there of Sam, and Deadgun has got a 5-place grid penalty because of it. So Stepan... already in his first incident, and yonder splits the Ferraris. It's Ferrari, McLaren, the top 4. As yonder puts it onto the front row. Frosty Life on the medium tyres. Adam behind him on the soft compound tyres. I believe that's Bluey who's just crossed the line to go 7th. What about Ridian? He's on the Inters, still doing a lap of himself. On a tyre that's clearly not going to fight for pole. Drifting very close to invalidating there on the exit. Finishes the first sector split on the softs, 27.8. As across the line, Adam now goes 2nd. Very close stuff. Very solid lap though from Chubster still to hang on to provisional pole. I didn't even know Uri's voice got picked up by my mic there, but fair enough. Big up Uri. So yeah, Adam into the top 5 now as well. What about Josh's teammate? 27.7. So Drifting did a 27.8. So very close between those two. Drifting is just going through the Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel complex now. Finishing the second sector split. He's got the McLaren in front of him. He'll probably go into the pit lane. A 3.781. And now Dello will fly through Copse Corner. It's a little bit of a slide there. And that's unfortunately invalidated for the Sauber, who's going to have to go again. He's backed off. Just couldn't get the momentum. We'll see what Drifting can do then. Remember, he missed a race a couple of weeks ago because his game had issues and he's lost the championship lead. He's trying to fight back this time and he goes onto the front row. So close between the top 4 now. Half a tenth. Drifting just missed out on there on Chubster, who's still going quicker. He's found a 10th in the middle sector. Chubster, who has been a pretty good qualifier. We haven't seen this level of performance from him, though. And he's going to extend his advantage by 37 thousandths to make it nearly a 10th he has ahead of Drifting. So Chubster going even quicker. But we are still yet to see the likes of Josh Hewitt on the soft compound tyres. Only half a second trailing, so I'm sure he will definitely be able to blitz the 27.6 that's currently the provisional pole time. So we've still got Stepan in... the pit lane. Dello will probably be going again. Nathan in the pit. Stelios, 27.5. So that's a couple tenths quicker than Drifting. So Stelios, who 2 weeks ago told me I'm just going to start at the back every race. He's going for it in qualifying. I believe that's Ridian who just gets out the way there. So Stelios into Copse Corner then. Takes it much better than Dello did. Eggy still in the pit lane. The two Hasses getting back into the pit lane. Warren not disqualified. An incident with Drifting. 5-place grid penalty for with his teammate. The two Aston Martins have hit each other. And now Warren finds himself with a 5-place grid penalty too. So the awareness and checking their mirrors and surroundings needs a bit of work for Deadgun and Warren, because they're the ones with penalties. Anyway, we'll look back to Stelios. 3.0 in the middle sector. Round the final corner. Can he put his car on provisional pole? Crosses the line. What a lap from Stelios. 1 second clear of Chubster. A 26.6. And Deadgun another time penalty for a collision with Adam. Okay, we might have a marine incident on our hands. Stelios, who's definitely shown to be quick this season. He's never been shown to be that quick. 26. I mean, we're going to have to see what the likes of Josh Hewitt can do. Round the final corner, he's found the half a second he was trailing. And he goes second. Now only half a second off Stelios. Wow, that was fast from the Alpine. Drifting complaining about his teammate, asking what that was. Anyway, Eggy's now on track. Nathan's still in the pit lane. See a driver in front just getting out of the way there, the Alpine. Alpine sandwich for the pair of them. That was Stelios, okay. So what, are Adam and Deadgun both on a lap? I can't really see how much is left because we've still got yellows across the line for the Aston Martin of Warren, who goes up to 9th. Are these two seriously about to start their lap near each other? Well, I guess that's a big enough margin. Well, I want to take you through a lap of Britain fully, 27.7 for Eggy, couple tenths lacking off Stelios into the pit lane, but with a driver who's probably going to get the lap done. The two McLarens also on a lap, Adam, Drifting, Chubster. I guess I'll wait for them. Sam, while all that was happening, didn't see because they're like right next to each other. He went ahead of Chubster to put himself 6 tenths off Stelios's very impressive time. Josh back into the pit lane. Eggy round the final corner then. Let's see what he can deliver. It's P2! What a great lap from Eggy! Out of nowhere to split Stelios and Josh. That is some great performance we haven't seen in a while from Eggy in qualifying. Front row for the Mercedes and more shocks to add with 6 minutes to go. And across the line for Christian, P5. Chubster, Drifting, Adam. Who's closest to starting a lap? Drifting. All right, here we go then. As Stelios is it. That's it for Stelios. He thinks he's done enough. He thinks what he's done is good enough for pole. So, starting a lap then with Drifting around the Silverstone circuit. Flat into turn 1. Not really a corner you have to do anything about. Same with turn 2. Turn 3 is the first corner you actually have to brake and turn for. Into turn 3. Hits the apex just about. Quick left to turn 4. Getting the power on. Doesn't quite hit the apex. Takes a wide exit. Gains the momentum. Turn 5 once again. Flat. DRS open. Gets onto the grass for some reason. Finishes the first sector split. He did a 27.8 and he's done a 27.8 again. Half a tenth up. Now through Brooklands and Luffield. Such a tight complex of corners, but it's so flowing when right. On the exit. Now down the back old pit straight. And on the wind up to Copse Corner. Slight little lift. And potentially going down a gear to 7th. Now through one of the most famous complexes on the calendar in the world. Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel. And he's taken all that very nicely. A bit wide, but he's kept it on the curb for the middle sector. 2.5 tenths up for Drifting, who's a whole second off provisional pole at the moment. So he's still going to need to find a lot of time. Into Stowe Corner. Takes that very nicely indeed. On the power, right on the limit. And now just Vale to go. It's a bit make or break with the bumpy curves. Hits the curbs perfectly. Gets on the power. And across the line, round the final corner, which you don't want to go over the bump. It's P5 for Drifting. 27.444. 3 in front of him in the pits. 2 behind him in the pits. Chubster, what about him? He's found nearly 2 tenths in the middle. And will cross the line in the Ferrari. He was on provisional pole. And he goes ahead of his teammate. P4. Ahead of Sam then. And yeah, it ever more shows how more impressive Stelios and Eggy's lap times are. So Drifting has been knocked down to 7th now because Adam just went in front. As well as Chubster just did that lap. A lot of 5 in a row in the pit lane. Bluey currently P13 at the moment, ahead of Adam, ahead of Deadgun. Ridian, obviously he's only done an inter time, I believe. JJ Francis, don't know what time what tyre he used. And Nathan, still yet to do a lap. Yeah, I know it is. Right, 3 minutes to go then. And Chubster will hopefully be heading back into the pit lane. One of, if not, I believe, the longest pit lane of the entire calendar. So a VSC or a safety car, it probably is in your best interest to pit. So we got 2 Ferraris in the top 5, 2 McLarens in the top 10, as with the Aston Martins. Warren trying to get some heat and temperature in his tyres. Nathan has began his lap. This will probably be his last run. He's got a weaving Aston Martin in front of him, of Warren. Get out the way, which he doesn't. Now he does. It's a bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, Nathan, I don't know if he's given up on the lap. Maybe he's fueled again. Look, he's not used that much battery. Adam has retired in the pit lane. Maybe he can't go any quicker than what he's done. And yeah, you can see on his steering wheel, Nathan hasn't actually used that much battery. So he could probably go again. Anyway, they're heading out for one final run. Can anyone beat Stelios' time of a 26.6? If they can, that is a fully deserved pole position. Because that time might be, well, I mean, Marine set some laps of the season, but that is definitely up there as well. So Chubster will be one of the last out because he's only just entered the pit lane. Drifting, we're still waiting for him as well. Everyone else is on an out lap. Nathan will come around the final corner, probably going to place around 15th or whatever. Crosses the line, 13th. So he'd still managed, even though being held up a little bit from Warren, still managed to put his car... Well, I'd say this is the midfield, so what, back marker, midfield-ish? It's still a good lap to put himself ahead of Bluey. And now you can see everyone's either on an out lap or starting their final run, including Warren, Yonder, Sam, entering turn 1. A very colourful helmet in the Scuderia. Most poles of the season go to him. Bluey's retired as well. He nails the turn 3 apex into turn 4. Takes a bit of the curb as well. Bit of grass from someone else being kicked up. Flat through 5. DRS on. Doesn't go into the grass. And now we're looking at what? 0.5 is the time? 0.4 for Sam in the first sector. So that's quicker than what Stelios did. 4 provisional poles. Sam giving it absolutely everything through Luffield and Brooklands on the exit. The old start finish straight. Chubster. Oh, he's trying to get across the line as soon as possible. He's only got 20 seconds. And you know what? I don't think Chubster's going to be able to make it to the line here. Eggy is about to cross the line to start his lap. Drifting will probably be the last one. Unfortunately, I believe Chubster is not going to make it. 8 seconds. Yeah, that's it. So we'll look back to his teammate, Sam. Just about kept it valid there. DRS open. He's up by 2/10. He still needs about 3 more. And yeah, that's it for Chubster. P4 at best. His teammate's going quicker than him and wants the second row minimum. On the exit of Stowe. Got a bit of traffic in front of him. They move out the way. It's going to still be a bit distracting. Into Vale. He still nails the apex on the exit. Where can Sam put his Ferrari? Yonder goes 5th, but it's going to be 6th because Samuel has gone onto the front row. Eggy, 27.5 as well. Josh Hewitt is up by a 10th as well. So what can these two do? 2 of the title protagonists. Josh is going to get a bit of slipstream or bother from the Haas in front of him of, I believe, Frosty Life, who goes off the track. Josh Hewitt, can he get back onto the front row? Mounts the final curb. He stays 4th. What about Eggy? Flying through Maggots and Beckett's. And I believe the rest are finishing their lap time. He's extracting every thousandth he can. Is the Mercedes up by 2/10. He needs about 1 and a bit tenths in this final sector to claim what would be a first ever pole position. The German has only got 3 corners to go in the Silverstone track. Deadgun's disqualified for his probably 1000th collision of the session. Eggy round the final corner. Can he get it at least on the front row? Can he get it on pole position? Eggy by 52 thousandths. It's at least the front row. Just misses out on a first ever pole. But that is a brilliant effort from the Mercedes. And Stelios is on pole position for the British Grand Prix. So close. Oh, 53 thousandths. Never mind. Right, that's your grid for the British Grand Prix. So Warren will drop from 11th to 16th. Deadgun, even though he got like a 10-place grid penalty throughout that, got disqualified anyway. Why did he get disqualified anyway? So, what? 3 collisions with someone in a quali session disqualifies you. Fair enough. Bluey's going to have some competition. Right. Bit more overcast this one. 45 minutes, remember, into the race. It's going to rain. And considering a race usually takes 45 minutes, with safety cars and whatnot, that's going to bring the rain sooner. And I do not believe we won't do this race without one. Well, that was a very lively qualifying. Eggy gave it absolutely everything at the end there. Just went shy of half a tenth to Stelios's incredible lap. That was at one point a second clear of anyone else. Yeah, it was still early doors. Chubster, where did he qualify in the end? Like 5th? Yeah. And yeah, they're changing their strategy, fuel loads, setups, any tweaks they can make within Parc Ferme. Mediums and softs ranging throughout. And yeah, it's a second pole for Stelios then. And remember, first, at least in the recent weeks, has been so crucial to maintain as the formation lap will begin now. As the drivers will do one lap to build up suspense, get in a rhythm, so they're not thrown straight into it at least. Oops, there we go. Let's have a look at tyres. Yeah, so softs and mediums throughout the whole order. And yeah, like I was saying, first has been so crucial recently because second onwards keep battling and they let the leader get away. And Stelios is the prime candidate for when that's happened the most. Spain and Canada, he went while second onwards fought and squabbled. And last week it was Josh Hewitt doing the same in Austria. So Stelios, he's going to hopefully hope that happens for a third time. But Eggy, he's not won a race this season. He hasn't won a race ever in Tier 2. He's just had a lot of seconds and thirds. And I'm sure his first win is going to be biblical scenes for a season highlight. And the German driver in the German team, well, there's no German race, annoyingly. But yeah, around Silverstone, Eggy, this is the best we've seen him all season, I believe, in terms of pace. To out-qualify Sam and Josh and Chubster. Well, in terms of the top 5 in the championship, they are 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 7th. And the other 3 who I was talking about who could get into that scrap are 1st, 6th and 10th. So the top 8 in the championship, all in the top 10. The only other 2 outsiders are the 2 Haas cars. Always wanting to get in the fight a little bit. And I hope and pray, even though it's going to be chaos, it's the good kind of chaos. So yep, final moments of the formation lap before we gear up. 26 laps around the British Grand Prix. Deadgun making his debut in P18. Let's hope it's a bit less incident prone than qualifying. JJ Francis starts down in 17th. Warren with that grid penalty 16th. The 2 RBs 15th and 14th. That's probably a record. They've out-qualified 3 people. 2 of course had pens or got disqualified, but still. Adam P13. Potentially points on the cards. Drifting disqualified. He may have messed up his parking. But anyway, we're going to wait for the final few cars to enter their grid slot. And we are going to get round 10 underway. This is EXFL Tier 2 Season X. And in its 10th season, round 10 is underway. It's lights out and away we go. Stelios versus Eggy off the line. And it looks like they're going to be wheel to wheel heading into turn 1. And Stelios is just going to hold on to the lead. And Josh Hewitt flying round the outside. He's made up 2 places already. Stunning start from the Sauber as Sam and Eggy are fighting away into turn 3. Stelios still leads ahead of Josh Hewitt now as Chubster's getting caught up in the pack with the Aston and the Haas and the Sauber 3 wide. Looking further forward as we see the Williams and Ferrari wheel to wheel. Josh Hewitt is in the slipstream with Stelios, not letting him get away on the soft compound tyres. That's helped him as Eggy on the mediums has fallen down the order quite a bit because of his start choice as they exit Luffield and onto the old pit straight into Copse coming up, and Stelios has a 3/10 advantage, and Josh this time as well as Sam. Hopefully they won't fight as much as we've seen in past few weeks. Stelios still holds on to the lead then as the top 4 are how they were. Brilliant start from GXL Dragon as Chubster versus drifting into Maggots and Beckett's. As Chubster's still ahead. Adam, as we see Frosty Life's had a dreadful start on the mediums, so the softs really helping out. 2 McLarens right next to each other. JJ Francis has gained 5 places. Deadgun still at the back. Something's happened to him. Bluey has dropped down the order. Christian, 10-second penalty for gaining. As we see Chubster versus Drifting, 4P6. And no action further forward. And yeah, Drifting obviously on those softs wants to get move on. As we see throughout the midfield, the Haas versus the Mercedes getting close. Wheel banging. Stelios 4/10 ahead then, and JJ Francis still in front of Frosty Life. So biggest gainer at the moment. Up 5 places, JJ Francis and Ridian. What a start from the Williams, as the top 4 still in single file right next to each other. And yeah, we'll look once again at tyres. We'll keep it at that. Warren and Frosty Life fighting. Heading on to the second straight. DRS already activated on the second lap. And we see Drifting this time on the inside of Chubster. And Adam also on the mediums trying to fight, as Chubster looks to be lacking a bit of grip at the start. And yeah, Drifting already over a second behind the top 5. He's going to have to use a bit of his battery, which he's using now, to try and get back within. We're talking thousandths here as they fly through Cop's Corner, 1 by 1, and Drifting by 1,000th. Now nothing, as the detection point's coming up. They're just passing it, are the leaders, and Drifting is unfortunately not within the detection point. He's lost out. So back to the top 5 then, as Nathan with a 3-second penalty. This might be Josh Hewitt's first chance to try and take the lead of his home Grand Prix. Stelios a little defensive to the inside, keeps hold of the lead, and Sam L watching this unfold as Chubster coming back at Drifting, who's going to hang it round the outside because Chubster has got the apex all wrong, and he's taken Adam down with him, I believe, who had to try and avoid. So that promotes Yonder up into 8th now, and Drifting losing touch with the top 5, breaking away, as I believe Ridian's just trying to keep with, because 8/10 now. He's still trying to push as Deadgun gets a penalty. 6 seconds off Bluey, who at the back they're a bit spread out all the way up to 15th, and then from 14th all the way up to 6th. Big DRS train. And yeah, the tyres are a bit annoying, so I'm just going to put it to penalties. There we go. Look to the front. Is Josh Hewitt close enough to take the lead of the British Grand Prix? To the inside. Stelios leaves him room. Goes a bit wide. They go wheel to wheel through Luffield. Now around the outside of now Luffield. As on the exit, Josh Hewitt still in the slipstream with a full battery to his name. And will he keep behind heading into Cops and hopefully get him on the next straight? Yes, he will. 2 seconds now the gap between Drifting to Ridian. And he's got a calamity of cars behind him. As Dello close to Yonder, and then Adam. Christian could be outside of a second here, which he is. There's the detection point. So the train has been halved, and now we have 3 trains. It's going off there is Yonder. We look further forward though. Josh Hewitt's still not close enough to Stelios for a move. Chubster gaining on Drifting, not quite enough. Warren gets past Christian, trying to get back within a second. Wheel to wheel between Dello. Is going off again. Is Yonder. Dello versus Adam. And Adam breaks so late that he has to avoid the back of Chubster and go off into the gravel. Otherwise, he was running straight into the back of Chubster. Whoa. And JJ Francis, we caught that just about on the inside of the Haas, I believe. And yeah, it was Chubster last week who had brake issues. This time round, unfortunately, Adam just braked way too late. And yeah, fair enough, he avoided contact, but he had to mess up his whole race by doing so. 3 seconds now. That just shows how powerful and quick the top 5 are at the moment. But yet, Stelios is still hanging on to the lead. Josh Hewitt just saving his battery. Chubster now in front of Drifting. And yeah, penalties are definitely going to be a big talking point. It's not as bad as the last 3 races. Austria, Canada, Spain. Those were definitely high-profile penalty warning potentialities. Drifting is going to have a go at Chubster into Cops, but backs out using not enough battery. Chubster sliding on the exit. And now we see Josh Hewitt 3/10 behind. Does he have a better run this time on Stelios? That's a better exit. DRS open. And on lap 4, we could be seeing Josh Hewitt try and take the lead away. But he's back in medium. He switches to the left. And they're going to go side by side into Stoke Corner. And he's going to go round the outside. Is the Sauber versus the Alpine. Josh Hewitt is into the lead of the British Grand Prix. Sam just stays behind Stelios for now, but Josh will lead a lap of his home race round the final corner. Let's see any more changes throughout the back. Chubbster's fallen behind Yonder now as Drifting leads what's a 6-car train. The 2 Astons, the 2 McLarens, a Ferrari, and a Sauber. So that's a 6-car train. Frosty trying to still close in. Stelios right behind Josh Hewitt there. Josh going a bit wide, getting a better exit. His battery management is great so far, but he's going to come under pressure. He does not have DRS. And Stelios gaining in the slipstream, goes to the inside. He's going to try and take the lead back away from Josh, who's brake later. They're still wheel to wheel, and Stelios trying to cut to the inside, but Josh defending for his life at the moment on the exit, placing his car perfectly. And Sam just watching this, waiting for a potential opportunity here. Getting closer to Stelios, putting him under pressure to maybe try and make a move on Josh. Eggy watching this unfold. Eggy's still in a great position at the moment because he could potentially pit for the softs at the end if that's really the strategy he's going to go with, unless it's soft, hard, medium, hard, which I'm not going to lie, that sounds more plausible at the moment. Stelios in hot lap, full battery, gets back past Josh. And is Sam going to try and get past Josh this time? No. They're learning their lesson because of obviously the last few weeks. They squabble too much. They're going to let the leader run away and get the win. But as soon as I say squabble, yep, Sam thinks about it again. And going off there, Yonder's now in front of Drifting. So Yonder's got past both of these guys who were fighting at the front of the train. So Dello now on the back of the Sauber. Then Christian. Frosty has joined the pack, as has Warren. Adam, unfortunately, a bit in no man's land now. Same with Francis. Same with Nathan. Same, as Sam L. And Josh Hewitt has dropped from the lead of the race. And to the inside, Eggy now fighting with the Sauber. Josh Hewitt, who was leading, is now trying to fight to keep hold of third. And Stelios has nearly got a second advantage ahead of Sam. What happened to Josh in turn 3, I believe, is where he lost those places. Drifting back in front of Yonder. So Josh Hewitt has got some work to do again, as Sam has got to keep within a second of Stelios. But Stelios is blasting all his battery, trying to get 1 second ahead. And you can see the time going up between the pair. And what will it be as they're about to cross the detection point? It's over 1 second, as we saw right there. But will Sam get lucky? Because I think he just missed out on 17 thousandths, which he has. So Stelios does have, he blasted everything, 70% down to 10, and it's just about worked out for him because he's now a second clear of the pack. Yonder in front of Drifting now. Chubster still in front of Dello. Christian, Warren's fallen off, as has Frosty, obviously because he's disconnected, but yeah, that's 2 out of that fight in the middle. As Ridian sliding a bit there on the softs. And yeah, Sam struggling now, 1.4. He blasted a lot of battery. Josh to the inside, letting Sam know he's there. But I'm pretty sure Sam is going to be watching his mirrors. But he's going to try and push as hard as he can. But with what battery? I know it's the same as Stelios, but still, Stelios looks like he's got more pace. Well, so far, pretty good, clean driving. Frosty's back in the car, and now it's Haas fighting for P11. Looks like Drifting might get past, as Josh Hewitt is past Sam again, back up into second. But they're going to need to work together here to close in on Stelios. So Drifting back in front of Yonder. 3.5 seconds trailing the guys ahead. The 2 Haas cars swapping. Adam now in front of Frosty Life. Bluey and Adam fighting now. So it looks like Adam's caught Bluey. Left Warren, who pitted. And I believe Dead Gun, I don't know if he pitted. He did not. Okay. Longest pit lane of the calendar. Warren's still ahead. Anyway, 1.6 seconds then on lap 7. Remember, rain 45 minutes into the race at the moment. I believe will just pass, as that's such a great shot when you see the cars in the background flying past Chapel. As we see Sam L 3 wide. Through goes Eggy on the pair of them. Can Sam L hang it round the outside with the little bit of soft he has left on his tyres? Yes, he can. To stop Eggy from doing another blinder of a move. So Sam back up into second. Eggy now in third. Josh Hewitt has dropped 2 places down to 4th. And the gap is getting bigger and bigger. So the undercuts might have to come out for 2nd, 3rd, 4th or 5th. Or mainly 2nd, 4th and 5th. Eggy's going to go long into the race. Yonder in front of Drifting. 5-car battle from 6th to 10th. 5-car battle from 5th to 1st. I guess if you include Stelios. And Frosty's having so many connection issues. Well, lap 8 then. Hope everyone's enjoying the race so far. It's certainly proving to be a great one at the moment. And Eggy now goes up into P2. They've all got quite low battery, the top, well, at least second and third. Sam trying to fight back with the Mercedes. Josh has enough battery. Ridian is doing all right. Stelios has certainly saved his battery. He's got so much pace in that Alpine. Now Eggy's under pressure, using a bit of battery, making sure not to hold up the guys behind. Wow, it's getting so close between those four. And yeah, Christian just trying to hang on at the moment. And we saw that 4-car fight for Josh Hewitt. I'll come back to that in a sec. Josh Hewitt, big slide out of Chapel. And now Ridian, who's stayed in 5th for a lot of this race, might want to get a move on as Sam L flies past Eggy. So you can see the softs are clearly wearing out as Frosty's back in his car, but now JJ Francis is ahead of him. All close between Chubster and Drifting. The softs are wearing out. You can see 1.4 seconds now, so the DRS swap did help with Sam close in a bit on Stelios. Josh Hewitt, who's won 2 races this season. Sam, who's won 2 races this season. Who else has won? Oh, I forgot. It's so close. There's so many people involved. But at the moment, is Eggy close enough? They're a bit separated, considering they're still within a second of one another. Not quite close enough yet. Lap 9. Yonder. Bit of a McLaren sandwich here. Drifting still going for the inside there. Gets the move done. And yeah, he's definitely still trying to push as hard as he can, but he's lost a whole second the last time we checked here. 3.5 now 4.5. Just gonna check again real quick. Sam, Stelios. Oh right, yeah, Stelios, of course. Yeah, duh. Right, yeah, so Stelios, 2 wins this season. Sam, 2 wins this season. Josh, 2 wins this season. Ridian and Eggy have only had podiums. Christian, 3-second penalty on top of the 10 he got as another slide, but this time for the other Sauber of Dello at Chapel. And Eggy versus Sam. Josh versus Ridian. Josh goes nearly off the track a little bit, but he's the first to blink. He's going into the pit lane, and he'll hope not to speed. Yep, fine, fair. So, Josh Hewitt going for the undercut. Is this the right strategy to do? Yonder speeds, though, as he heads into the pit box in a few moments' time. That's going to really have an impact on his race. So, nearly 2 seconds the gap. Stelios has saved his tyres. Well, at least better than Sam could. And Eggy on those mediums, looking in better shape with a bunch of battery. And he's going to blast his battery to get past Sam. To the inside. Eggy now up in the second. Let's see where Josh Hewitt came out, though. In P12. Little bit of clear air. He's got Nathan ahead of him. If he catches him at the right time, he could get DRS. And actually, I think he will. So, yeah, Josh Hewitt. Pretty good strategy call from him at the moment. Bluey's into the pit lane. Two-second gap then for Stelios, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, and all I think he really needs to worry about at the moment, besides undercuts, is warnings. Eggy's pretty good at not getting any. Sam, he typically gets the odd 3-second here. Ridian's pretty good at not getting any. Sam trading once again with Eggy. The gap was 2. It's just under 2 now. Does Stelios pit now to cover off? No, he stays out. Is this Sam's invitation? Yes, it is. Ridian follows him in. It's so crucial they do not speed, though. And, yeah, they've both got it well and sorted there. So both McLarens, unfortunately, with issues of time penalties. Frosty trying to switch back on JJ Francis there. Not going to work at the moment. Josh Hewitt does catch Nathan at a pretty good time. Gets ahead of him. And we see all the swaps because Chubster's in. Ridian and Sam as well. And let's see where Josh Hewitt exits out in favour to them. It's still going on. It's the longest pit lane of the calendar. So Christian, Adam, JJ, Frosty all emerge ahead. There's Sam. There's Josh. And I believe Sam is still ahead of the Sauber. So Josh will be in between them once again. And they're a bit spaced out. Ridian may have actually lost DRS there. To the inside of Nathan. And there's slight contact. And yeah, there's an incident. Because Ridian wanted the inside line. He could not afford to lose behind Nathan, but he has lost even more time. So at least Josh is still with Sam, and their trading could help them get ahead of Stelios. As Sam's trying to get temperature into his tyres, but that is disaster for Ridian. Nathan had the right to turn in. I guess Ridian wasn't far enough alongside, but he went for it, trying to get ahead. And unfortunately, he's caused an incident there. But yeah, besides that, so far, it's been pretty clean. I'll put it on leader. Fair enough. As Frosty fights with JJ Francis. Josh, 26 seconds off the leader. Who's into the pit lane? Eggy will lead the British Grand Prix. Dello follows him in. Christian stays out. Adam stays out. Frosty and JJ Francis stay out. Sam trades once again with Josh Hewitt into Stowe Corner. So this is the big one then. Where is Stelios going to emerge in comparison to Sam L and Josh? He had a 2-second gap. We can put it back to this now. Sam round the final corner. Josh Hewitt right with him for the taking there. Stelios into turn 1. It's going to be close, but I believe he'll still have the lead of the Grand Prix. As he can see, Sam and Josh, it's close, and they are within a second of the Alpine, but they have not got the undercut. So Stelios has done everything right there. So they went soft medium. That surely means Eggy will be going medium soft. But what he needs right now is that's off for Eggy. I was going to say what Eggy needs right now is a virtual safety car or a safety car, because you could gain so much with a long pit lane like here. If we just quickly look back to leader, 22 seconds. So Eggy would emerge, what? 4 seconds behind these lot with Ridian, I guess. So Eggy really needs to hope. As we have a yellow, and it is JJ Francis, Eggy's teammate, who's caused a yellow there. But he's got back on track. He's lost his right end plate. As yeah, here we go then. Sam is not going to let Stelios get away this time. And he's going to pull to the left. Stelios still in front, using his battery to stay in front. They're going to go wheel to wheel here. Josh watching this unfold. Sam round the outside of Stelios. Keeps it on the track. Lovely move from the Ferrari. The only three drivers who have won more than one race this season in a 3-car fight for 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment. And yeah, that's why they've won 2 races. Stelios' teammate, though, Adam, also going off at Cops for some reason. JJ Francis into the pit lane now. Well, lap 13, the halfway mark, and we still have all 18 drivers in the race. JJ Francis pits onto the softs. Eggy, still nowhere near lapping anyone yet. On his own at the moment. 10.3 ahead of Christian, who's got 13 seconds of pens. He will certainly serve that 10 when he pits. Adam 4 behind. Frosty 2 behind. Sam still 5 seconds off the next car. Drifting still fighting with Yonder. 2 seconds off Ridian, who's a bit on his own now. And Francis gets a pen. I'm just looking at like the spanner just on the left of the gear for Josh and Sam. Theirs is fine. Stelios' is red for some reason. As the top guys stay out, I'm just quickly planning through. No one's got any fuel issues, so yeah, that should be fine. Eggy 1.5 seconds down on his time. Stelios back in front of Sam now. And I think at this rate, besides maximising swaps between these lot, penalties and warnings are going to be their main concern. Because Eggy's going to be quick. He's going to be very quick on the softs, as we have a yellow of, I believe, Deadgun just exiting the pit lane there. On the hards, I think that's one of the first few people to put the hards on. I think he's just getting out of the way there of the leaders. But you don't have to go off the damn track to do that. Because if he goes slow enough, this could be an issue. But he's letting them all go. Deadgun 10 seconds. He's exceeded track limits. As while all that was happening, Sam is back in front of Stelios. They're still swapping. Drifting in front of Yonder. Swapping again. Put the power on, man. Like, come on. Someone needs to teach this kid how to race. Right, into Cops then. You can see the clouds getting a bit darker. Frosty closing a little bit on Adam, who's closing a little bit on Christian, who's pulling away from Eggy, who's finally into the pit lane then. It's very important that he doesn't speed though. And yeah, he's definitely got that slowed down enough. The worst thing to happen to Christian right now is if he would speed on top of the pens he has. So please don't speed. Stelios back in front of Sam. Parks it on the apex. And Josh trying to get a little bit of a switch back there. But can't quite do it. Stelios a bit deep there. Sam going for the switch. Can't quite do it. So Eggy will, look at that. You can see the 3 cars going by. So Eggy is going to have a lot of work to do. And if he's just careful enough, he can be behind Ridian and get a bit of DRS. There's Ridian. There's Eggy. There's Yonder. So Eggy on the soft compound tyres now. The only one in the top 6. And let's see how quick he can really go. He showed great pace in qualifying. Can he catch up to these 3? And Sam to the inside of Stelios. Gets the move done. There's nothing really on the line at the moment. We still got a long way to go. 11 laps. Frosty loves extending his first stint and is still going strong. 15 laps into it. Leading the British Grand Prix. We have a yellow. Shock. Well, at least the game's not stupid enough to know if there's a yellow. Don't bring out the safety car, because that would be a really stupid way to do it. Yeah, the bottom 3 pretty separated. Then Francis, then Christian, who served his 10 set. Behind Adam. 3-car fight here. It's all kicking off a little bit. As Stelios, I'm sure, will be fine swapping with Sam. Warren and Nathan backs off massively in the fight as Eggy gets past Ridian. Went pretty well there. Very close between the top 3, though. And Ridian, for Ridian's sake, I think he's just going to hope Eggy pulls him along, because Yonder's nearly within a second. Now is within a second of Ridian. So Yonder's doing a great job at the moment. Yonder, fastest lap of the Grand Prix. 29.4. See what Eggy can do then. 4 seconds to the top guys. Stelios, 2 wins to his name. Sam, 2 wins to his name. Josh, 2 wins to his name this season. And all 3 of them are fighting for a 3rd win. Josh Hewitt, the championship leader. Sam, 5th out of those 5 potential candidates. 15 points behind Josh. Stelios, one of the 3, like I said, could join in on the fight. But he's either taken the win or, you know, had a really bad result, like a DNF or 9th or something. They're closing in on Frosty. And is this going to be a hindrance? Or is Frosty going to pit this lap? You can see the clouds getting darker. Wheel to wheel into Copse Corner. Stelios back in front of the Ferrari. It's getting a bit feisty now. And because of that DRS, Eggy's lost 3/10. But yeah, Yonder and Drifting have caught this fight. And is it just better for Eggy to be on his own catching these guys? Does he... Look at that. He took half a second out in Maggots and Beckett's alone. He's clearly got the pace. But is it best to swap with Ridian? Ridian's in medium. He's not fighting Eggy. He's just sticking with him, which is probably the better thing to do. They have caught Frosty at the perfect time, because any longer he would have held them up and probably caused an issue maybe. But he's pitted at the perfect time. We have a yellow, and that is JJ Francis, who's gone for a spin at Copse. Put the power on, mate. Stelios, fastest lap, 29.1. Let's see what Eggy can do. He hasn't bested that. 29.7. Wow. Dello in front of Frosty Life. Pits onto the soft compound tyres. Warren, 3 second now. So yeah, top 5. Still without any pens. Remember, Yonder's still got that 10-second time penalty looming on him. So this is big for Drifting, because Yonder's helped him not only gain on Ridian, but potentially Eggy as well. A P4's up for grabs here. But the top 3, the only multiple race winners, one of them at the moment is looking for a 3rd win. Eggy hasn't had a win. Ridian hasn't had a win. Yonder hasn't had a win this season. Drifting has had a few, though. JJ Francis becomes the first retirement of the race then into the pit lane with 10 laps to go. So that's fine. No BPs or anything. Stelios has nearly got Sam outside of a second while all that was happening. In fact, Sam doesn't even have DRS. So, yeah. Stelios applying the power. You can see he's burnt all his battery. And Sam, in that instance, just didn't really have the pace to fight with. So Josh Hewitt still sticking with Stelios, who's looking clear to potentially pull away. But Josh has a bit more battery to use, and he's 8/10 within. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix now goes to Josh Hewitt. He's applying the pressure now. 3.9. Eggy's only gaining a couple tenths at the moment. It's not working for the Mercedes. Started second, dropped to fourth by the end, lost out with Sam and Josh, who made, another flying start from the Sauber. But yep, Stelios, the Greek man, Sam, who I believe is from Scotland, Josh, the only one at his home Grand Prix, I guess technically, wants to win it. And if he's gonna try and win it, as the Stelios laps his teammate, Adam gets out the way, how you're supposed to get out the way, cough cough. As, Josh will be wanting to win this, but rain could still be a big factor. I don't know how many minutes we're into this race, but we've not had a safety car, we've not had a VSC. But the rain, it's definitely a few laps out yet, obviously. And Eggy's just losing time. And with those softs starting to fall off, he could come under serious pressure from Ridian, Yonder and Drifting. He knows worst case scenario is 6th. Yonder's going to finish 7th. Maybe not even that. He could drop to as low as 10th if these lot hurry up. Adam, it's close. It is close. Right, 9 to go. The red spanner means their teammate is in the pit lane. Oh, my bad. Well, apparently, did someone just say 5 minutes to rain? Seb is last season's world champion. Has, I don't know if he's predicted or he just knows that, like, maybe he's talking to one of the drivers and Jeff's just said 5 minutes till rain. But if it's only 5 minutes, oh, here we go then. Because track position right now could mean everything. And Josh Hewitt is not waiting around to the inside. He takes back the lead of the British Grand Prix. All three of these guys have led at least a few laps this race so far. And it could be right place, right time. Because when it rains, there's no DRS. And overtaking around here without DRS could prove a bit more difficult. We know Josh is good in the rain as well. And one of these three look to be winning. Yeah, they're pulling away. Eggy's now behind Ridian. 5 seconds now the gap from 4th. These three pulling away. Looking good for the podium, but it's not over, especially at this stage of the race when there's usually around 5, 6, 7 laps. The last two races we've had a safety car right about now. And Stelios back in front of Josh Hewitt. Is Sam going to try and get Josh Hewitt again? There's an incident between the Sauber and Ferrari. They just about live on from making that way out of proportion than it was going to be. So I think they'll just get away with that. We do have a yellow, however. Oh, is that? Oh, it's because of... No, it's just because of Adam slowing down. Okay, phew. So Deadgun's using all his battery. Adam has just been lapped. Bluey, 20 seconds off Nathan, who's 20 seconds off Christian. 7.5 off Warren and Frosty round the outside to P11. So Chubster, I haven't really talked about Chubster too much. He was in that fight, and then I've actually kind of forgot what happened to him. But yeah, Eggy back in front of Yonder. Yeah, Chubster's second in the championship right now. Well, before this race, and yeah, he's certainly going to drop down the order now. It's been a very disappointing race from the Ferrari. He was in, well, a pretty bad position in Canada before he finished second in the end because he had no pens and there was a safety car. Adam 9th, couple points once again. That's pretty much where he's finished all the time, even though he was definitely had the potential to fight up here. Anyway, while all that was happening, Stelios, 1.3 clear of Sam now. That incident between Josh and Sam, even though it was kind of minor, they still managed to hold on, has lost them time. And yeah, Josh is going to have to work with Sam again to not let Stelios run away in the final laps. But yeah, a 3-second time penalty for any of these guys, and it's game over for the win. They can probably still hang on to the podium because it's 4.5 as Eggy's back in front of Yonder. Drifting. What's happened to Drifting? Was he the yellow? Was he? Surely it was Adam, no? Well, whatever the case, Drifting's now 3 seconds behind these guys. Ridian's nearly a second behind Eggy. And Sam, 1.1. It's close. They've just passed the detection point. Sam's going to need to give it his all. We have a yellow. Oh, yep, we definitely know who that's for. Get out the gravel. Put it on the track already, man. Who got this guy into the league again? Adam, I think. This guy. And he's got connections to You're right. Tell this guy. Oh my god. Right, 1.1 still between Stelios and Sam. So the pace is staying pretty level at the moment. Sam's trying to give it his all. Josh has saved up a bunch of battery, so if he can swap correctly with Sam here, he could definitely get back into a second with Stelios. We've only got over 5 laps to go, though, and the rain is coming. We're going to have a 2008 Belgium on our hands here. It's going to be sick. So yeah, like I said, penalties aren't really a big thing, at least for the top guys, unlike the last few weeks. Don't know how many warnings any of them are on. Josh is gaining on Sam, who's actually under a second now, to be fair to him. So Sam showing some good pace after Stelios left them. And we've only lost one person in the last however many laps so far. It's been a very hard-fought British Grand Prix so far, with a lot of battles. It's been pretty good. Yellow, though. Yep. Oh, he actually stayed on the track this time. Stelios, exactly 1,000th, I believe, may have just got DRS. May have just avoided Sam getting DRS, but it's close. Actually, Sam did get it, so he just about held on. And now Sam's going to use everything. So great stuff from Sam to not let Stelios go away. He didn't even need to trade with Josh. He's got the pace to get back within a second. And Yonder now in front of Ridian. They're fighting into Luffield and Brooklands. Ridian to the inside. He may have a 5-second penalty looming over him, depending if Nathan reports him. And they're still wheel to wheel. Great stuff between the Williams and the McLaren. 2 British constructors are still side by side, and Yonder now gets ahead of Ridian. That's allowed Eggy. Oh, that's probably the second warning for Eggy. That allows Eggy to get over a second clear. They've pulled away from drifting as well. So, yeah, going to be a bit of a disappointing result for Eggy. It's still a lot of good points to not lose too many to Josh. But it's a 3-way fight again. And it looks a bit like cars, doesn't it? You got the blue of King, the green of Chick Hicks, and the red of McQueen. 3-car fight at the British Grand Prix. Warren now with a penalty, a second pen. Everyone outside the points has one. 29 seconds of penalties. And I swear 20 of those were for weird exceeding track limits because he went off. 4 to go then. Oh, he has nothing to do with you. Okay, fair enough. Right, 4 laps to go then. British Grand Prix. Stelios, will it be a 3rd win for him of the season? Will it be a 3rd win for Sam? Will it be a 3rd win for Josh Hewitt? They've kept it pretty clean so far. And there's the rain with 4 laps to go. Sam L takes the lead of the British Grand Prix and the rain is here. And how bad will it get towards the end? Will they just hang on? Any sort of slide or mistake could be 10 times worse now. And I believe as when they finish this lap, there's no chance of a safety car. And Josh is gaining on Stelios, who's going for it at Cops Corner. Wheel to wheel. And Stelios is ahead of Sam. But they're still wheel to wheel. And Sam's coming back at the Alpine to hang on. And this battle is getting more spicy by the lap. Josh Hewitt, when is his opportunity? Because DRS could be disabled any moment. And at the moment, Sam's got track position. And look how much battery they've all saved. They're getting better and better. But here comes Stelios to take back the lead. And Josh just struggling a bit as he's taking too much life out of his tyres. Sam makes contact with Stelios, who goes off. And he's dropped completely out of contention now. And it's all just kicked off. Stelios into the pit lane. Is he just going to give up like that maybe? Don't know. Oh, he's gone off again. Stelios was in such a clear chance of victory. But now, he's given up. And Josh Hewitt, out of all of that, didn't really fully see it. It looked like Sam kind of just hit the back of Stelios. So Sam could see himself with a penalty. But out of the 3, if 2 of them get involved, 1's going to emerge. And it was right place, right time. It wasn't for P1. It was the one hanging back. Josh Hewitt now has just seen his home race give him quite the miracle. And Josh Hewitt with a 1.7 lead with 3 laps to go. There's no chance of a safety car. Warren's promoted into the points. Christian could still maybe get a point because he's within 3 seconds. Maybe Frosty as well. Oh, he's into the pit lane. Never mind. It's all just kicked off on lap 23. Josh Hewitt is winning the British Grand Prix. Eggy could see himself with his second back. Ridian, you never know, could see himself on the podium. The rain is getting heavier, and it is poured out for Stelios as they're going off those Bluey, who, one mistake and he's given up. That's Stelios for you, I guess. Sam could see himself with a pen. It will depend. I don't know if Stelios will report it necessarily. But, whatever the case, Josh Hewitt, I don't think has really put a foot wrong. He had one thing with Sam here at Cops, but I don't think it was too bad. Unbelievable. Josh Hewitt, he must be shaking right now. 1.4 seconds. So Sam is still not giving up without a fight. I have not seen DRS get disabled yet. They're struggling. Eggy now gets a 3-second time penalty. He's losing out of the rear. And all of a sudden, Ridian now sees the podium potentially as a higher chance for him. Started 10th. And, even after that, well, he's still got a thing looming over himself, hasn't he, with Nathan. So once again, like last week, everyone's involved in something. And, Josh Hewitt out in front. But it's not been the calm sailing story he hoped for like Austria. He's had to work for it this time. And Sam still not giving up. 1.2 seconds now. Josh Hewitt, the championship leader. No one's won back-to-back races so far this season. And he's crawling around with the rain heavier. His teammate Dello holding on to 7th. Has caught drifting, to be fair to him. To the inside. Drifting versus Dello. A little bit of contact. As they're going to go wheel to wheel. Can Drifting hang on? So Dello around the outside. Drifting trying to force him a bit wider. It has worked a little bit. Hugs back the inside. As Yonder goes off track there. And gets in front of Ridian. Don't know what would be said about that. If he has to give it back or not. As Ridian goes off the track too. They're struggling so much. DRS is disabled. As soon as Sam gets within a second of Josh. So he's going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Josh with a bunch of battery to burn though. Will probably pull away. But Sam gains so much time on Josh there. And, at the moment, Ridian's going to get this podium because they're closing in on Eggy. And Sam is close to Josh. Does he fight it? Does he think this is still for the win? Or is Sam going to get a pen? Whatever the case, we're heading on to the final lap then. Sam versus Josh, 1st and 5th. We said, heading into qualifying, there are 5 main candidates for the championship at the moment. Josh is first out of those 5. Sam is last out of those 5. And on the final lap, it's Sam versus Josh with no DRS. It's the old-fashioned way. He's going to have to try and get past Josh. But Josh has much more battery than the Ferrari. But Sam has the pace in Maggots and Beckett's to maybe pull off something of a special move. But how daring is he feeling? They're struggling as the rain pours down. They've got to get the power on. And any slight twitch or mistake could be their last in this race. And Josh Hewitt is just hanging on. He's surviving after everything he's been in this race, after everything he's thrown himself into. We have a yellow of shock. We have who? Luffield and Brooklands for the final time. Sam L is sniffing an opportunity to overtake his closest rival in this race. And we're going to head on to Cop's Corner for the final time. He saved up quite a lot of battery, to be fair. More than Josh managed so far this race. So far this lap. Halfway done. The next half could be the one that decides it all. But Sam L's gone off at Cops. Goes back on. Still no penalty. And he's got probably 1 or 2 chances left in Maggots and Beckett's where he's looked to be better at Josh. And he's now just got to size up the exit. And he may potentially at least win this on track. Josh slides out of Chapel and onto the back straight. Blast everything. Josh versus Sam. Heading into Stowe Corner. Sam to the inside. Josh going defensive. Wheel to wheel. Into Stowe Corner. They're so close to contact. Can Josh hang it round the outside? He's not got the momentum. Sam is in front. Can Josh still dive it to the inside to win this race on track? Sam has gotten ahead on the last lap. But will it be the win? He's parking it on the apex. And Josh Hewitt will finish second. As for now, Sam round the final corner. The British Grand Prix comes to an end with the top 2 separated by only a few tenths. Ridian versus Yonder while that was happening. And it's Ridian who's going to win out of that fight to get the podium. Yonder 10-second, Eggy 4th. And at the moment, Sam L has won the British Grand Prix. But I'm sure there's going to be some investigations probably for a lot of drivers. Drifting got 5th in the end there. Dello 6th, Yonder dropped down to 7th, Adam 8th, Chubster got 9th in the end, and Warren is not going to hang on to the point. It will go to Frosty Life, maybe even on track. There we go. As the rain poor down at the end there. No one made any huge mistakes, really, in terms of their driving in on a wet track. So Frosty gets the final point. Warren 11th, Christian 12th, Nathan 13th, Bluey 14th, Adam 15th. Deadgun finishes 2 minutes off the next car ahead of him. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, no way anyone was going to pit for Inters. It was the longest pit lane. They weren't going to make that time back. If it was Netherlands or something, or Belgium definitely. Which we'll be going to next week. So yeah, that was the British Grand Prix. Yeah, the race was only 40 minutes. Actually, with how things go, that's a pretty short race. So 45 minutes into the race, and yet we still, yeah, fair enough. So that's the provisional result. 39 seconds of penalties. Oh boy. Technically only got 9 and 3 10-second pens, but yeah, let's get Sam and Ridian in the call, and then I'll go into Discord to interview Josh. Alright, Sam and Ridian. Hope everyone who's watching enjoyed that, because that was quite the race. There's Sam. Okay. Well, waiting for someone to join. This is not usually the case. There we go.
There is if personally, I don't think that's a pen on
There we go.
Stelios.
The
He
party I
was
was in must have been bugged.
mm,
Yeah, nice. There we go.
yeah. 'Cause what
Right,
happened is when I hit Stelios, Stelios was riding that inside curb, and basically
we'll get
he
into
was
it, Sam. Don't
about
worry.
yeah. Go on.
Okay.
I'll just
Have you included your audio?
yes.
Ridian, you there, mate? Have you included your audio?
No. Nah.
All right, cool. Right. So that was the British Grand Prix for Tier 2 Season X. We'll start off, we'll go backwards, why not? Ridian, hello. So you qualified 10th, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Not my finest day.
What a another great drive from you. Your quali average and your race average must be so far apart. It's crazy.
Can we
your
change
start
the
was amazing.
Can we change the thing where I'm only good outside the top 10 to including P10?
Yeah, for sure. Your start was amazing. 5 places. You and JJ Francis each made up. 10th to 5th was great. You stuck with the top 4. You made a few fights, I think, on Josh when he was 4th, and then you pitted. And then just talk us through when you came out the pit lane with Nathan.
Twat. That's basically what I was thinking. But, I don't get it. Why? You're on 11 lap old mediums. You're the slowest fucker in the tier behind a fucking furry, right? Why don't you just let him past? I'm out. I'm fighting for a podium here. I probably was. And then, bro, just pull off the side. Just brake a bit. Let you pass. Then you're not fucking losing so much fucking time like a melon. You know? The top of the league's actually decent.
Well,
but then when you get, lower down, you get it's like the ocean, you know? The top of the tier, you got the cool old fish, the sharks. Then you got the fucking anglerfish, the ugly fuckers at the bottom who no one gives a shit about.
the thing is, obviously, it's his right to turn. You weren't obviously far enough alongside. You went for it. You spun him. I don't know if he'll be I don't know if Nathan will report
Fuck
it
it
or
if
whatever.
he does investigate it. Let me pass
He does usually send in clips, but anyway,
Oh well.
that lost you
Still
a
got
few
podium, so-
seconds. You when Eggy came out of the pit lane, you stuck with him. You got past him. I'm sure his softs may have fallen off. You fought with him. Yonder and Drifting then closed in. I do have to ask, because you were the only one who was near, what happened to Drifting?
And no pace.
He
was talking
was
to
with
me
you
earlier.
guys, and then he was suddenly 3 seconds behind.
Same thing with Yonder. He
Oh.
was 3 seconds behind with drifting, and then he just
Actually, that does ring a
snapped
bell.
fingers.
Last season, Drifting wasn't amazing at Britain either, to be fair to him. Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
The pace
And
just
then, you
dropped
fought
off.
away with Yonder and Eggy. And after it all, what was your reaction to seeing Eggy getting a 3-sec?
It was quite happy, you know. I was expecting
Yeah.
a pen anyway, a podium anyway, because apparently Sam was getting a penalty. Don't know about that yet. We'll see.
No.
I was gonna call on Josh, so you can tell what he was
Alright.
thinking was what I knew, basically. And
And what about the rain? How'd you cope in the rain?
I'm from Wales. Come on.
Yeah,
I live with this shit.
Yeah, I don't think I actually saw you make a mistake, like go off or anything. Yeah.
It was scary. It was horrible. China was bad, as in rain, but this was it was horrible. It was definitely
Of course, it
Inters,
rained
but
at
it
the
was
end of
so
China,
late.
didn't it? It was way too
so
late. You
wet.
wouldn't have made up, I'd say, even half of what you pitted for.
I wish someone at least tried, because then you could have started a gamble.
Yeah, so no safety car, no VSC or anything like that. Just just good, tight fighting throughout the whole race, which was great to see. And yeah, you've walked away at the moment with a podium, so another lot of strong points. Stelios obviously didn't finish the race, so you gain on him. Yonder obviously got 10 seconds. You won't get a 10-second, so you'll gain on him as well, or you'll pull away, should I say, from the pair of them. Close in on the top 5 a little bit, on the likes of Chubster, I guess, who finished 9th. So anyway, yeah, another strong result for you. Well done. And on to how you feeling for Belgium. Your historic win back in season 2, winning from 17th on the grid. Are we going to see any sort of repeat?
I hope so. It can.
Yeah, be great. So yeah,
I might just purposely just not qualify. I'm actually quite good at Spa as well, so I am.
Even if we have today 18 or 19 or 20 people. Now I'm going to kick a few out. 17, you start.
Let me get a quali van.
or you can just try and put yourself 17th. I don't know how easy or hard that would be. But
Just gotta manage the time.
yeah, well done today, and on to Belgium for you. We'll move on to Sam L next. Sam, hi, mate.
Oh,
So qualifying was very close between everyone. You put in a pretty good lap at the end to start. What was it, third?
yeah.
Fourth? Third. Third on the grid. Good start to hold on to third. I think Eggy and Josh just swapped around you. And then you were swapping for the lead. You pitted after Josh, I believe.
Lap 9, lap 8, something like
Yeah.
that.
And then you were with him, and then Stelios obviously pitted, and then I was saying, because you, Josh, and Stelios are the only people to win more than one race this season, and you're all trying to get your third win. It was a great fight with you lot. It got a bit close between you and Josh at Stowe on one lap, but then I guess the main talking point was when the rain started to hit, and on, I think it was lap 23 at Stowe, it looks like you unfortunately may have just hit Stelios a bit.
He had a snap of oversteer, and I know he did.
Key question here: do you have your onboard?
Yes, I do. What he did
Okay, cool.
is,
That's great then.
yeah, he rode the inside curb, and call me a bit weird, but you can see his car moving further and further to the right, and literally, he's corrected basically again. It like the slightest bit, you can just see it, and then there's literally nowhere I can go. I can't react that fast. I can't swerve out the way, otherwise I'm gonna go right off the track. But yeah, and also Josh saying apparently I forced him off on the last lap, which is utter bollocks.
I kind of see what you're on about. Obviously, it is raining, so slides are gonna happen and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll just see if
Yeah, well, as soon as
Josh
we have all
gets
like the data and whatnot, I think I'm pretty sure in saying you and Josh are the top two. I don't know what the gap was to third, but
drifting was made up when I got the overtake, but
we'll see what happens. I'm sure even though you are the provisional winner at the moment, you sound obviously a bit disappointed it happens, but still, nonetheless, it's still a good lot of points. You gain quite a lot on your teammate. You gain, at least at the moment, on drifting.
Where did Chubster finish?
9th. He was just a bit nowhere, to be honest. It was a bit strange.
Did they have any contact?
I'm genuinely trying to remember, because in the early stages he was 6th. You know, when the top 5 got away, he was in 6th, fighting drifting and Yonder, and then he's somehow, I must have forgotten, he's somehow lost 10 seconds. Don't know how.
Jeez.
He didn't speed. Yonder sped. Maybe he did speed. I don't know. Whatever the case, a bit of an off race for Chubster, considering he did show pretty good pace in qualifying. But anyway, Ferrari's still leading pretty well in the constructors. Sauber now second, and I'm sure they're going to obviously gain a bit with Dello and Josh finishing high up. Still a strong lead, as obviously after next week we'll be halfway done with the season. How are you feeling about Spa next week?
I'm not the best at Spa, especially when it's raining, but
right.
we'll see. Because
I'm not gonna lie, in those last few laps when it started to rain, you were looking so much better than Josh.
It was a bit mismatch. He sometimes was quick enough, and then in the last few laps, I just somehow gained a lot because he was on exit. He was so slow.
For about 90% of that race, especially on the last lap, brilliant battling. It's why you're one of the best in the tier at the moment. So keep it up, and this is far from over. Every race is going to matter. Every point is going to count. So yeah, well done to the pair of you.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll see you two next time out in Spa.
All right. Thanks.
In a bit. Right, I'm going to join the Discord to talk to Josh. Don't know if it's going to include audio, but we'll find out. Hello, Josh. Hello, I can hear you. I don't know again if you can include your audio or not.
I don't know.
Because are you on Discord on your phone or I'm going to guess your phone?
On my PlayStation.
Oh yeah, PlayStation. I don't know if there's any options then. Either way, let me go to Sauber. There, right, Mr. Hewitt. P4 on the grid. Once again, an electric start to see yourself in second into turn 1. That was brilliant. You fought away with Stelios a bit. You did not fight with Sam like Spain and let him get away this time, which was key. Yeah. So great stuff there. You were the first to blink. You pitted early. You didn't really get the undercut properly on Stelios, but you were much closer, which was the key thing. And then, like I was saying, you, Sam, and Stelios, the only people to win more than once this season, all trying to fight for your third win. No one's obviously won back-to-back yet this season. And and then the rain came, and I was on about right place, right time. Because when DRS gets disabled, it's going to be a lot harder to overtake. So first is looking best, and at the point you were third, so it looked like you were in the worst position. But then suddenly the top two had something, and suddenly you were in the best position. What was your reaction, or like what was going through your head when you saw that happen?
It was more the fact of now Stelios was out the equation, and I thought Sam will be getting a penalty, so I was like, drive safe in the rain because the conditions were like the worst conditions I've ever raced in my life. It was just a matter of not getting any penalties.
How many warnings were you on? I forgot to ask Ridian and Sam that.
Keeping it on the track, and yeah, just hope for the best. But when I saw Sam take Stelios out, I thought, well, Stelios isn't recovering, and I think if it goes to stewarding, which it should do, Sam hopefully gets a penalty.
How many warnings were you on?
But I was on 2.
Oh, right, 2. Okay.
One was because I got pushed off.
Oh, right.
So he's one legit, like,
Well, you didn't get any pens in the end, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah.
yeah.
And then, yeah, obviously you had like a 1.8 second advantage with a few laps to go. Then Sam closed in on you, especially through Maggots Beckett's, all that. He looked like he had the better turn, and you obviously were trying to maximise staying on track. And then that last lap battle, it was building up. The tension was there. I'm sure you must have been quite nervous, and especially home Grand Prix and all. And then, yeah, it was a fair, good fight, and you gave it your all. Second, at least for now. And if Sam gets a penalty, then it is the home race for you, a third win. Your home race win. You'd equal the all-time win record, and yeah, first back-to-back winner, 3 wins, and extend your advantage in the championship at the moment. So I think either way it goes, if you're second or first, you are still leading the world championship. Yes. So I think that's also probably the most important part as well. So yeah, on to Spa next week. How are you feeling about that? Not good. Not good at all. You don't like Spa? Oh, well, it's good. It's a good job you had some pretty good races recently.
Yeah, I mean, when I put my mind to practice, I will just sit there for hours and just changing setups, finding the right thing, and I'll eventually get the good laps in. But I'm quite busy over the next few weeks with like some exams, and I'm going to Leicester for a weekend, and
Fair enough.
so I've got not much time to practice basically.
Right. Okay.
It's worrying.
Well, like we said, at least you still have the lead, so you're still in there. Yeah, we'll find out
Can I ask,
what happens.
what was your opinion on the Sam Stelios incident? Because everyone's like mixed.
Well, I haven't seen Sam's POV, which he says he has, so that's going to be really key. He's on about yeah. So I don't know. Well, I don't know if I'll have his POV. I was on board with you when it was happening, so yeah, it wasn't really. Yeah, so we have your POV, which is, I guess, helpful. We have Sam's POV, which is going to be the most helpful. Stelios' POV, I guess, will be helpful, but it depends if we have it or not.
He slides, but
Yeah. When Sam's on about he has a slide, he does kind of have a slide, and if Sam's argument is like he doesn't have enough time to react and whatnot, I don't know. It could go either way, to be honest. I'm not going to say anything until I have all the facts. I can only judge it off like when it was live and whatnot, and like the one with Ridian and Nathan. Ridian was, as much as Ridian was annoyed, Nathan had the right to turn and whatnot, and Ridian spun him. So
that's why I didn't get the undercut, because through Maggots and Beckett's I was behind
Nathan.
Nathan.
Oh right.
So I had to get past him on the DRS straight.
Yeah.
It lost me like quite a bit of time.
Oh, because in commentary I thought you just caught him perfectly. I was like, Josh has got Nathan on the straight. That's good timing. Never mind then. Yeah, we'll find out. It's either going to be a 5 or it's not. But either way, it's still a top 2 again for you. Another podium. So you're definitely on great form. You pulled away from, well, Chubster, who was second, who definitely won't be second now. Well, you got Drifting and Eggy. Eggy showed a lot of good pace. It's a shame his strategy didn't work. Otherwise, he maybe could have been in that fight. But anyway, for now, Massive well done. And yeah, on to Spa for you. Alright, that has been the Tier 2 Season X British Grand Prix. Bit of controversy right at the end there. But it was chaos, but good chaos. A lot of battling. Some weather played in. And yeah, we will, well, obviously I will let you know what happens next week on the build-up in qualifying at Spa of what happened from this week, like every week. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But that has been Silverstone, round 10, and on to what's going to declare the halfway mark of the Belgian Grand Prix in 1 week time.